In 2024, NASA's instruments detected something beneath the surface of Mars that their scientists couldn't immediately explain. It wasn't a rock formation. It wasn't ice. It was a signal, structured, repeating, and buried nearly a mile underground. This is what they found. For decades, we assumed Mars was dead, a cold, barren rock with nothing left to offer but dust and silence. But the more we look, the more Mars looks back. And what NASA's InSight lander and Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter have uncovered in recent years isn't just interesting. It's the kind of discovery that forces scientists to rewrite entire chapters of what we thought we knew about the planet next door. To understand why this discovery matters, you need to understand what Mars used to be. Around 3 to 4 billion years ago, Mars wasn't the red desert we see today. It had liquid water, oceans of it. Some scientists believe it had a thicker atmosphere, magnetic field, and temperatures warm enough to support life as we know it. Then something happened. Mars lost its magnetic field. Without it, solar winds stripped away the atmosphere. The water evaporated or froze. The planet died, or so we thought. Because here's what nobody tells you. Water doesn't just disappear. It goes somewhere. And scientists have spent years trying to figure out exactly where Mars hid it. In 2024, researchers analyzing radar data from the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter found something extraordinary in the Medusae-Fossae region near Mars' equator. Using esa.int, a ground-penetrating radar system, they detected a massive layer of material buried between 1.5 and 2.7 kilometers underground. At first, scientists thought it might be volcanic ash or sediment, but the radar signature didn't match. The way the signal reflected back was consistent with one thing: water ice. A layer potentially large enough to cover the entire planet in water 1.5 to 2.7 meters deep if melted. That's not a puddle, that's an ocean, hidden underground, on Mars right now. One of the researchers involved described it as the largest deposit of water ice ever confirmed this close to the Martian equator. And the location matters. Near the equator means near where any future human mission to Mars would land. Here's why scientists are so excited about where this was found. Previous water ice discoveries on Mars were near the poles, useful scientifically, but nearly impossible to reach for a crewed mission. The poles are brutal, cold beyond anything humans could easily survive on the surface. But the equatorial region, that's the sweet spot. Warmer temperatures, easier terrain, more sunlight for solar power. If you were designing a Mars colony, you'd put it near the equator. And now we know there's potentially a massive water reserve sitting right beneath it. Water on Mars isn't just about drinking. Split water into hydrogen and oxygen, and you have rocket fuel. You have breathable air. You have the basic building blocks of survival and the ability to get home. This single discovery could change the entire timeline of human Mars exploration. But here's where things get strange, and where some scientists are asking questions nobody fully wants to answer yet. Liquid water beneath the surface of a planet creates something very specific, a potential habitat, not on the surface, where radiation would destroy any organic molecules within minutes, but underground, shielded, pressurized, possibly warm from geothermal activity, the conditions start to look uncomfortably familiar. In 2018, the European Space Agency's MARSIS radar detected what appeared to be a subglacial lake beneath the south polar ice cap of Mars. Liquid water, possibly salty, which lowers its freezing point enough to stay liquid even at Martian temperatures. On Earth, we find life in places exactly like this. Subglacial lakes in Antarctica, buried under kilometers of ice, completely isolated from sunlight, and yet they're full of microbial life. Organisms that survive in the dark, in the cold, feeding off chemical reactions in the rock. Is something doing the same thing on Mars right now? Scientists won't say yes, but they've stopped saying no. Now here's the part most news articles buried, and it's the part that changes everything. When researchers cross-referenced the new equatorial ice deposit with ancient geological maps of Mars, they found something that didn't fit the current models. The region where the ice was found, Medusae Fossae, has long been one of the most geologically mysterious areas on the planet. It stretches over 5,000 kilometers. It's soft, easily eroded, and for decades, nobody could agree on what formed it. Some scientists argued it was volcanic ash. Others said wind-driven sediment. But the new radar data suggests something else entirely, that this region may have once been the floor of an ancient ocean. And the ice found beneath it, the last frozen remnant of that ocean, buried and preserved for billions of years. Mars didn't just lose its water, it hid it, underground, in a region we've been staring at for decades without understanding what we were looking at. And if that's true, if there's a buried ocean floor sitting beneath the Martian equator, then the question stops being whether there was ever life on Mars. It starts becoming something far more uncomfortable. Is there still? NASA hasn't announced life on Mars. Let's be clear about that. But what they have done, quietly, systematically, over the last decade, is eliminate every excuse we had for saying it was impossible. The water is there, the chemistry is possible, the environments exist, and every time we look closer, Mars gives us one less reason to say no. Next week, we're covering the James Webb Space Telescope's most controversial discovery yet, an atmospheric signal on a distant exoplanet that scientists cannot explain. If you want to know what it found, make sure you're subscribed, because that one is going to surprise you.